Welcome to Rojan Bonsai Studio. Today we're going to be working on 3 trees. We're going to be working on a Bald Cypress, a Japanese larch forest and a Privet LIGRUSTRUM, one of my favourites to work on. Now this is a Privet LIGRUSTRUM ovalifolium. It's a tree or a species that I really enjoy working on, and today we have got a fair bit of work, but we're going to start with cutting back all this extended growth, and as we start cutting it back, its true appearance should start to follow. And we are just going to be cutting back just to 1 or 2 sets of leaves as we start this, and we're almost there. And I feel this little one we're not going to cut back, but we are going to get some wire on it eventually, just to help it get started into its new shape. But now it's time to get all the previous wire off, which we did early winter last year. And now that's all the wire come off, it's time to refreshen the soil and do some root work. Now you're probably wondering, why am I doing it at this time of the year? Well, these trees are very resilient and I can repot this tree with no worry all throughout. And privets, they always bounce back, no matter what you do to them. And it is proven to be difficult to get it out of this pot. I believe it's been around 3 years since I last done this. And finally we have it out of the pot, and it is an absolute mess. I'm gonna have to just get the saw out on this, I believe, but it's so root matted that it's also swallowed the drainage mesh that was at the bottom. Now we're not going to be swapping pots. I quite like this pot and I think it's quite suitable for the bark of the tree, but it's going to go in here lovely, but at more of a tilt. And there's not really much more I would do for this tree right now, apart from when it starts coming towards winter, where I will fully defoliate the tree and get some more wire on, a lot more wire than what we did today. But yeah, it's definitely a tree that I would recommend to any beginner, as it's built like a tank and there's so much forgiving. And now for the Bald Cypress. This is a tree that is recently new to me, even though I have done a couple of videos on it now. But it's now that time of the season where we can start cutting it back and removing all the excessive growth. It's quite a large tree. Some people say I should shorten it to make it more appropriate to the pot, but that's not what I want for this tree. And as we're spinning around, we're just checking to see what branches are ready to cut back and which ones we want to wire in place. It's a thorough check before we start this procedure. So we're going to start removing this guy wire, which I used to bring this branch down. Now I don't need all this branch, so we'll cut it back in a bit. It's also starting to form new branches where branches are already in place. We want to remove all of them where we can, as they will not help the final design. And any growth that is too thick, where these two branches here can now start forming the start of the pad. And it's like that throughout the tree. And if you're wondering when it's ready to start cutting back, you see how this has now turned a lovely brownish red colour. You can safely cut this back to 2 pairs of leaves and it will likely push new growth. And here is an example of a branch which you don't want to cut back yet. And if you don't want to remove it, don't touch it, because cutting it back now, it will surely cause dieback, where the ones on the side here are the lovely right colour that we're looking for. So I do want to be starting to bring some of these branches down. It's just to get them in the right direction. Eventually, when they start to thicken, probably this time next year, they'll be cut back again, just to help build the ramification lower down. And just to bend it in the shape, just to give it a nice appearance in the meantime. And we do have a fair bit of wiring to go, so I'll just let you relax and watch the video, and I'll get back to you soon. that's all I can do for this tree at this time. It is slowly getting there. I believe this time next year it's going to look more to what I envisioned for the tree. And now for the Japanese larch forest that you may have seen me put together early last year. It's come a long way since then, and there is a fair bit of dead, and that was expected. But today we will be doing some cutting back, and we're just going to cut back to where there are buds. If we cut back any further where there is no buds, that branch may die off. And it's just a simple task, and that's all we're really going to do at this time. And inside here there is a junction which has died off from a previous cut, and we're just going to remove it and make it as clean as possible. So I've got the concave cutters just to try and give it a flush cut. Almost there. I think we can go deeper once more, and there we go. That's a lot more better. And that's all I'm going to do with this forest for now. In the winter I am going to start wiring some of these branches down. Maybe this one left to grow, but I really do feel this one needs to be wired out away from the main trunk line. And also the one next to it, if we wire this one to a more of a curve, it should give a better shape to the whole appearance. Now that's all I can do with this tree for now until the winter time, where I can start putting wire on and making it into a much more appealing shape.